cottage, first stop in the journey of a mentally retarded child. Mental retardation is often detected early in life. It usually begins during pregnancy, at birth, or soon thereafter. There are about a dozen different main reasons for it to happen, and many other rarer causes. Once detected, and the family agrees that their child needs institutional life, the local courts step in, or voluntary commitment may be arranged. After proper medical recommendation, the child is committed to Fairview. But then there is often a waiting period. As many as 500 have been on the waiting list, waiting for a place in one of Fairview's many cottages, waiting sometimes as long as 2 years until there is room. Fairview's cottages are organized insofar as possible to house the same kinds of patients in their own living units. Each of the cottages were constructed to take care of certain kinds of patients. Kosher, this cottage, is one of 3 hospital-type units. Most of the 120 patients in Kosher are entirely bed-fast, requiring complete care. Everything must be done for them every day, several times a day. A typical schedule for the more active patients includes several hours both in the morning and the afternoon on the play porch. Patients need daily or more frequent simple medications administered by practical nurses. Kosher Cottage is somewhat like a special hospital for the chronically ill. The very young chronically ill who have the additional complication of being mentally retarded. Occasionally, emergency treatment is needed, and for this, the cottage is equipped and prepared. Keeping an unusually deformed patient comfortable may require extra attention and ingenuity. In certain cases of brain damage, there is marked muscle underdevelopment. To be turned several times a day. Baths every morning. Like it or not, they have to be kept clean. And their surroundings have to be kept clean. Germs travel fast anywhere. It seems that with these children, Germs often waste little time in doing their work. That's why living in close quarters like these, it is even more important to maintain high sanitary standards. One group of patients Kosher tries to keep together are hydrocephalics. Their condition is caused by an excess amount of fluid in their skull. It is a condition which may continue to worsen over a long period of time or be arrested so that in some cases it is scarcely noticeable. Microcephalics have the reverse condition. Their skulls are smaller than normal, and they often lack sufficient room for proper brain development. Care and more care. The attendants require an infinite amount of patience. Some of the more deformed find it almost impossible to swallow, and it can take 2 hours or more to feed each of them. Nearly all have to have chopped and pureed food. Most kosher patients have to be fed individually, but there are a few who eventually progress to the high chair stage. If a child shows even a slight ability to eat without help, he is taught and encouraged to help himself. The nurse tapes the spoon into his hand so that he won't drop it. If a child appears to have the ability, he is placed in a walker and encouraged to move around. When a kosher cottage patient has learned to feed himself and is able to walk, he gets transferred to Snell Cottage. After a certain period of time, those who are unable to do even these things are transferred to Patterson Cottage. Patterson, one of the recently built units at Fairview Home, has a capacity of 170 patients in 6 wards. These are the severely mentally retarded and often physically handicapped who have some form of brain damage. About half of them are essentially bed patients requiring complete care. They vary in age from 8 to 23, with most under 12. The majority of them must be fed by others, and some of these are only able to swallow food with great difficulty. regardless of their chronological age, they require constant attention. Bathing is a daily routine. Because of their weight and limpness and being carried, specially designed waist-high level bathtubs are used to make it easier for the staff to do the job. Able to stand, get a shower at least once daily. A full-time barber has a steady clientele throughout the institution. Physicians are assigned to take care of the medical needs of each cottage. Every patient is given a thorough examination when first admitted and is checked on regularly. Patients with serious illnesses may be transferred to Fairview's hospital. Most patients at Fairview have complicating physical, psychological, and sociological handicaps in addition to their mental deficiency, so that they are functioning at a level below their real ability, limited as this may be. At Fairview, whatever rehabilitation possible is considered to be primarily a medical responsibility under the direction of the staff physicians. Medical care has top priority at this institution. Each of the wards in Patterson, insofar as possible, houses a similar type of patient. The more disturbed girls are kept together in Ward 5, where they spend most of their day on the play porches. A few unusual behavior problems need additional isolation to protect themselves as well as the other girls. To realize that these people are relatively happy in the facilities provided by the state of Oregon. They don't need pity nearly as much as your continued knowledge of their existence and the support necessary to maintain proper care and treatment. Severe epileptics sometimes need a helmet to protect their head when having seizures. There are a few patients in Patterson who are capable of simple craft and hobby activities, but because of their physical handicaps, they are unable to attend the school on Fairview's grounds. A special teacher visits Patterson to encourage and help these children to develop recreational skills. School is over, the boys and girls help each other return to their wards. Bird Cottage Cottage is the largest living unit at Fairview and one of the most crowded. With 325 patients, it was originally designed for elderly bedfast cases. However, there are more so-called up patients than completely bedfast cases. Many of these do have some form of crippling handicap which restricts their ability to walk. There are patients in Bird from age 12 to age 97, with most in their 50s. The patients are divided up into 5 wards, separated as much as possible according to their mentality and age. Many epileptics and other severely brain-damaged patients live here, and as at Patterson and Kosher, need constant nursing care, feeding, bathing, turning, so on. There are a number of cerebral palsy victims. And there are some less severely retarded mentally who are severely retarded physically. They struggle with extreme patience to engage in simple recreational activities. Except for one ward for physically ill patients confined to bed, men and women are housed in separate ends of Bird Cottage. Spastic patients help each other enjoy watercolor painting. One ward in Bird Cottage is for a group of patients who are both mentally retarded and psychotic. Until tranquilizing drugs were introduced, 2/3 of them were in restraints. They still need 24-hour supervision. Most of them have a vocabulary limited to 1 or 2 words. Snell Cottage is where patients from Kosher, the first cottage you saw, go if they are able to walk and feed themselves. There are 120 boys and girls in Snell from about 3 to 12 years of age chronologically, and the middle age range of about 1 to 5. Their dining room is in their cottage. Older patients from other cottages help the staff at mealtime. They say grace before meals. Effort is made to teach the children table manners and good behavior in general. After lunch, all children have a rest period on the play porches. The floors of the porches are heated. The youngest Snell Cottage patients stay in their ward at all times and play only on their porch or in their ward. Every ward has a play porch. After nap time, the children are toileted. The staff tries to help them with toilet training. And they are encouraged to dress themselves. As in the other cottages you have seen, Kosher, Patterson, and Bird, the institution's policy is to group the patients insofar as possible according to their age and mentality. There are 6 wards in Snell, 20 cribs per ward. This large basement recreation area is used 2 or 3 hours every morning and afternoon by all but the very youngest Snell residents. The children are encouraged to develop ability to play with each other and to make good use of the wide variety of play equipment available. cottage is one of several that patients from Snell may go to. Depending on their development, some Snell cottage patients will go to one of the school cottages, and most of the others to a worker's cottage, such as Chamberlain. Chamberlain has 135 female patients with a mental age range of about 2 to 6 years, and a chronological age of about 8 to 35. As in many of the other cottages, there is some overcrowding. Most are moderately to severely retarded mentally, usually with some form of brain damage. Because of crowded conditions, Chamberlain and similar cottages often have to house patients of widely different chronological ages. And though many of the patients in Chamberlain are able to help care for many of their own needs, and even do simple jobs around the institution, there is a group in the cottage who are much like those you saw in Patterson and Bird. Fairview tries to separate patients in cottages according to mentality and age, but lack of room causes an overlapping of groups. This child spends most of her time tearing paper into shreds. And as in Patterson, some are isolated to protect themselves as well as the other patients. The laundry is one of several places Chamberlain patients might work in. Over 100 patients from both male and female cottages are on the job daily at the laundry. Other places they might work include the farm, the kitchen, the dairy. The laundry handles 68,000 pounds of washing every week. It is a well-planned operation under the supervision of professional staff. About half of the patients at Fairview are able to take care of themselves with supervision, but they are unable to compete in society. They may do a routine job well, better in some cases than people of average intelligence, but they may not know how to handle money or how to find their way home. Built over 50 years ago, is primarily a home for worker patients who are retired from active jobs. There are 100 men in Jones and about the same number of older women in another similar cottage. Most of them are in their 60s chronologically. They spend most of their time in and around their cottage, except to go to the dining hall for meals. Their activities are mainly of a sedentary nature. Not all of those who live at Fairview will be lifetime residents retiring to cottages such as Jones. Fairview has a school and recreation program for the less severely retarded patients. This is another side of the story of the mentally retarded, the side primarily dealt with in our first report. It is about those who eventually leave the institution. Half of those who enter Fairview will eventually leave. Half of those who leave will eventually be at least partially self-supporting. Many other mentally retarded do not need the institutional programs available at Fairview. Some may go to private institutions. The mentally retarded, as you have seen, range from those who need only a little special help to those who need constant care, as in Patterson, Bird, and Koser cottages. Fairview Home serves Oregon in the belief that all retarded have a right to the aid and surroundings that will help them develop their abilities to the fullest.